Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. As always, I hope you're having a great day so far, and this channel is returning back to normality with consistent uploads since this whole artwork stealing stuff is finally over. And today I have actually just witnessed some spicy developments in the Dream vs John Swan controversy over on Twitter, and I do have a couple of things to say about this situation in particular, so let's get into it. But firstly, a quick reminder, make sure to stay hydrated, and of course, after you hydrate, click that subscribe button down below and turn on the notification bell. It really helps out a lot. Also, while you're down there, I have my Twitter linked at Materwelon, so if you're interested, follow me there. Okay, enough with the dirty promotions, let's get into today's topic now. So I'm gonna provide some context for the people that have no clue what has been going on in the commentary community over on Twitter for the past week. Basically, some huge drama went down, which in my opinion was completely blown out of proportion between popular commentator John Swan and Minecraft speedrunning giant Dream. To water it down here, about a year ago when John Swan only had around 6,000 subscribers in total, these two interacted with each other due to John working on a Minecraft documentary style video and Dream appearing in said documentary as a guest. Now, here's the problematic part. Apparently, after these two filmed their video, somebody had been impersonating Dream on Discord, and disguised as Dream, they sent multiple hateful and troll messages to people, including the N-word, which quite understandably pissed Dream off, who thought it had to have been John Swan based on the content of these messages. And this only went public about a week ago when Dream on a small Reddit post shared this information, which tempted John Swan to respond on Twitter, making this blow up further. And then it just took off. Live streams and interviews were created discussing this. Many jumped to John's defense, many thought Dream was in the right, and that basically led to this whole beef becoming massive in the commentary community. And obviously Dream was saying, hey, this was slander and you're slandering me now, and John Swan was countering this by claiming it wasn't him at all, but that in reality he was staying over at one of his family's relatives' home, and the one behind all these messages was actually just his 12-year-old autistic cousin. To which Dream said this can't be the case, cause how would he have known about specifics like Harley TVS, yada yada yada. If you want the full story, just watch any commentary channel's video from like 8 days ago. But this was obviously one of these situations that split a lot of creators in the community apart. Both sides had certain holes in their arguments, and some logic appeared to be rather far-fetched, but nobody was able to undoubtedly be proven guilty or innocent. Personally, I took neither side. I tried to stay away as far as possible from stuff like that, and at the time I also really didn't have any strong opinions on it, because even when this started I realized that this was, completely blown out of proportion. But as a complete twist in events, today John Swan actually admitted he was guilty all along on Twitter, and we're just gonna read the apology right here. He actually called this taking accountability, which is exactly what Shane Dawson called his apology, so it's obviously already some very bad omen. Hello everyone, as a commentator my credibility is important to me. Unfortunately I have let you all down. There's no excuse for what I did, and I take full responsibility. I wish I could have made a video, but I'm currently traveling and not in a position to do so. I mean, it's questionable if traveling is the best choice during a national pandemic, but I'll let that one slide. I was messing around on Discord about a year back with a friend of mine. I had 6k subs and I thought nothing of it. This somehow got back to Dream and I didn't expect it to. I panicked, I told a lie, and I thought it would never get brought up again. I mean, messing around on Discord is quite the understatement considering what has actually happened now, but I do get what he's saying here. I was wrong. Dream's Reddit post came out and I was completely in shock. I panicked again and I made my threat, digging myself into a deeper hole. I thought it would look really bad if people thought I was impersonating a YouTuber, even though it was so small and inconsequential at the time. But I understand now that lying about something on as big of a scale as this is indefensible. And he then goes on to apologize and admit that he messed up and that he expects people to lose respect for him. You can obviously pause this if you want to read the whole thing. And at the end he says, I have let you all down, I am ashamed and disappointed in myself, and I am sorry. I will be taking off time from all social media to process everything. I will return at some point, but I don't know when. And he then actually follows this up with a short second apology in which he says, I also want to apologize to the people that stuck their neck out to defend me, people like Nick, Augie, Boblex, Tipster, Optimus, and others. I lied directly to their faces and put everyone's credibility in danger. I didn't consider how this might have affected them, but I should have. Once again, there's no excuse for what I did. So this is obviously a lot to take in, and it is rather severe because he just straight up admitted to completely lying through his teeth to his own audience as well as his friends privately, meaning he was guilty all along, and Dream didn't actually slander him or anything close to that. And I do have to say I am incredibly disappointed in John Swan here, just because it did take so long for him to even admit to being wrong in this entire situation, and it definitely goes goes to show that we don't know a lot of these creators, and they might not always be telling the truth to their audiences, which is exactly what happened here. John definitely does seem like he wants to take accountability now, but for me personally, and a lot of others as well, it will take a lot of time for him to earn his respect back, and especially his credibility. This will most likely also have a lot of effect on his private life, because it did really seem like he betrayed a lot of his mates' trust here, and this is like a real 180, because John Swan used to be one of the most universally respected creators on this site. Well, aside from some pathetic drama which I purposely will not mention here, he really was treated as one of the most consistently best commentary channels. Even though he doesn't have a lot of videos out, he did put a ton of effort into every single one, and his editing was basically out of this world. But I could definitely see how this might have driven up his ego quite a bit. I mean, from getting a dream feature with 6k subs and single-handedly being able to ruin the reputation of previously immensely well-known and popular TV show host Chris Hansen by fundamentally exposing his scummy behavior and his past. I mean, this will surely give you a massive confidence boost. I mean, without his great videos, I never would have been able to release this video as an example. So he really did have some impact in the community, but now basically threw this all away. Even though I don't really think he's like a narcissist or anything, or that it will kill his career, I think he's gonna do decently, but it will just take a long time, and he's gonna have to walk a despicably huge road in order to gain my and many others' respect, cause that has been completely tarnished now, especially since he really threw his friends under the bus here, cause a shit ton of commentators that he associated with completely trusted John Swan's statements, which is absolutely understandable if one of my closest friends, for example, were to tell me, hey, this bigger YouTuber is making up lies about me and I'm innocent and I need help to fight back against them, then of course I would support them, cause I obviously wouldn't expect my close friends to lie to my face, and since John Swan did exactly that, many commentary channels like Tipster, Boblex, Nicholas the Oreo, Augie ROC or Optimus and more, who in their minds were just supporting their friend and doing the right thing, uploaded videos heavily biased towards John Swan, going all of their way to defend him here, and in some cases even straight up attacking Dream, even though arguably John Swan made it public, aside from the fact that Dream also initiated it privately. And all of these videos obviously have aged terribly now, and their audience will now have less trust and less credibility in them, because they made fundamentally flawed videos on the situation, even though it arguably isn't really their fault at all. And all the effort put into making a compelling argument for John is all meaningless now. One of the commentators I know personally, that being haha yeah, has spent over 10 days perfecting a video defending John Swan, which he now can throw right into the garbage can. I mean, this must feel so devastating, putting hours of work into defending him just for him to admit having lied. Even more so when you realize how easily this could have been prevented. Like, John Swan obviously knew from the start that he was guilty, which absolutely stupid for him to do it in the first place, but he did, and one stream talked about it on Reddit. First of all, the post only got like 29 likes, so he could have just completely ignored it altogether and just went on with his day, thus completely avoiding the situation. Or since he was a smaller creator at the time, he could have now just admitted it, truthfully apologized, and confessed to messing up. If he had just been honest from the get-go, he would have had a way better reputation than he has now. Obviously he has said the N-word, which is a bastard move, and I understand that you don't want people finding out about that, but if you were stupid enough to say it, then at least own up to it. I mean, I don't think he's racist, he's just an idiot for thinking it's funny to troll with stuff like that. But why, if you know you are guilty, would you make such a public beef out of this situation against one of the biggest creators on the entire platform, man? Okay, lastly I just want to touch on Dream real quick. I believe he was well within his rights to do a live stream about John and counter his arguments, since John Swan did completely slander him and initiate this whole situation, and it turns out Dream was completely right after all, and he then expressed disappointment in how a huge chunk of the commentary community portrayed Dream's side in this entire situation on Twitter, and I have held this belief for a long time, but I do actually agree that Dream is portrayed incredibly negatively in a lot of commentary videos. Although he doesn't quite deserve it in my opinion. I mean, a lot of it comes from him being able to grow such a large audience and to such a huge size in comparison to how long it took other creators to reach similar goals. And the second aspect was definitely his stance. Not all of his stands are bad, don't get me wrong. Most of them are just innocent kids or teens that want to support their favorite creator, but a loud minority of them, you know, the ones that draw like NSFW art and completely attack anyone critical of Dream, have become quite disliked in the commentary community, which definitely must be unfortunate for Dream. And also the biggest aspect are definitely views. Talking about Dream or his stance is easily produced content, and due to the extreme popularity, it usually usually gains a lot of views. So I don't think many commentary channels have had Dream's best interest in mind at all. Like, I see people criticizing his merch for being too expensive when there are creators this size selling way more expensive shit. So I do actually believe that a lot of the criticism he receives isn't that fair at all. I mean, I'm not a Dream stan. I understand why the speedruns or manhunts get a lot of views, but this whole SMP shit, yeah, that just isn't my thing. But still, I can comprehend why one would grow attached to him, and although you can always criticize somebody, and he has a lot of aspects in which his intents can be questioned, I still think Dream gets too much unjustified shit thrown at him, just because it gets people views, and cause a, let's be real, tiny part of his fan base is acting out on Twitter. So yeah, I do actually fully support Dream in this situation, and I could actually imagine this being a James Cald kind of thing, where a creator that really didn't have the best reputation, not because they did something bad, but because people just didn't consider them deserving of their platform, actually earn a lot of people's respect by winning a major controversy decisively in their favor. But yeah, that's all for today. These were kind of my thoughts on this whole John Swan confession. He did really disappoint me a lot, and a lot of other creators as well here, and he's got a long road to walk if he wants to build up his reputation positively again. And this whole situation is just a prime example of something teeny tiny getting blown way out of proportion and leading to shit like this. But definitely let me know your opinions in the comments down below. I'm hugely interested in them as always. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, drop a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and yeah, I'll see you next video. Stay safe, peace.